A teachers' strike planned in Christchurch in February. Well, it could be illegal. 1,000 teachers will walk off the job on February the 19th, protesting against the ministry's plan to close or merge 30 schools. But teachers whose schools aren't affected could be breaking the law if they strike. Well, Susan Hornsby-Geluk from Chen Palmer Lawyers is with us now. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
So we've got a situation here. Teachers are not happy. They feel like they're not being listened to, so they've said they're going to strike because they want to be heard. You say this could be against the law.
Well, there's no question, Royden, that the strike is unlawful. There's a limited right to strike under the Employment Relations Act, and that relates to the context of collective bargaining or whether it is a health and safety threat. And neither of those situations exist here. So NZEI must know that. They know that the strike is unlawful, but they've chosen to take a quite provocative form of action because they don't think they're being listened to.
Yeah, because, I mean, the NZEI has acknowledged that this is very much a protest strike. Can I just ask you, there's a differentiation here, obviously, between the teachers involved in the schools which may be merging or closing and those from schools who are simply showing their solidarity. The teachers within the schools threatened, are they also unlawful in this potential strike action?
All of the strike action will be unlawful because there's no right to strike in New Zealand just as a basis of protest or even as a basis of sympathy. The only right to strike relates to collective bargaining. So what these teachers are doing is going to be definitely unlawful and in breach of both the Employment Relations Act and their employment agreements. And
the implications, therefore, these teachers, I mean, they could be sued or they could even lose their jobs, I suppose.
Well, I mean, that's a difficult one because is the ministry and other school boards actually going to discipline or fire all of the teachers participating in this? And I think that's what the union is counting on. There's a lot of teachers going out on strike here, and the school boards can't pick some of them to discipline and not others. It's going to be all or nothing. So, yes, they could be exposed to disciplinary action, but I think that it would be a brave school board or ministry to condone that.
So actually the NZEI could actually have made a very calculated but quite risk, but quite a clever play here. Of course, is it up to the school boards themselves to discipline teachers in this situation, or would it come from head office, from the ministry, as a decision which across the board as such?
Well, what I think the ministry will be carefully considering at the moment is whether it seeks an injunction, because it could seek an injunction to have the strikes declared unlawful, which is in some ways stating the obvious, we know that. But if they did that, it would place a lot of pressure on NZEI and the teachers because they'd be acting in breach of an order of the Employment Relations Authority, and in that context they could be liable for penalties and any damages that arise out of the strike. So the question for the ministry is that going to look too heavy-handed when the weight of public opinion is probably behind the teachers rather than the ministry on this? So I think the ministry's considering quite carefully and quite strategically what to do.
OK, Susan Hornsby-Geluk from Chen Palmer, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
A very difficult situation.